Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Onobrakpeya. But today they are adorned in their traditional wear. And mind you, he's also a chief from Agbaroto. You're welcome to Two of a Kind.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Onobrakpeya. What does that mean? What's the meaning of that name?
The meaning simply is humility, not boasting, and just remaining humble and being who you are.
Great. I want to ask, you're an icon, no doubt. I mean, when you talk about art in Nigeria, and even in the international scene, how did it all start for you?
Well, I want to say that it wasn't a planned thing. It was, it just came like that as part of life. Now, what is important is that the Robo people and the Benin environment, where I grew up later, all are very artistic. You know, the atmosphere around them are very artistic, and so I think it's the art in the environment that actually helped me to develop. But also, my father did some art in his days, you know, and I think there's something of art in the family. I have a brother who's a draper. He makes clothes, design, fashion, and so on. And I have others who are also into the crafts, and they produce very beautiful works in Agbaroto and so on. And so we're from an artistic family. The region is artistic, and I think that is where it would have all started.
For the benefit of the program today, which is celebrating marriage and love, we'll go over to Madam and let us know a bit of her. I'm sure the general public wants to know who Mrs. Onobrakpeya is.
My name is Victoria Elo Onobrakpeya.
Nikwel.
I was born in Kano. And then I schooled in Kano for my primary school, and later I went to Djibouti for my secondary school. Djibouti for my secondary school. It was then I got married, you know, after my secondary school.
Education. All right.
And since then, you know, I've been having different training. Either traveling at the time, you know, I was in GW, George Washington University.
Okay.
Where I did a bit of art.
Okay.
And I've been holding exhibition for artists.
Okay.
And since then, you know, when I started having my children, I retired a bit. And after having the children, I think I had to come back to art. So by practice, I should say I'm an artist too.
Oh, great. Was it the one that inspired you into art, or you just developed a natural attraction for the arts?
Well, he inspired me into art.
Okay.
And since then, I've been doing one thing or the other, either, you know, attending art school,
okay,
or, you know, having exhibitions for the artists. I remember when I was in the Arts Council, I had several exhibitions for the artists.
Okay.
People like late Emopai, and people like Roland Ogame,
okay,
who is still alive, and some other people. When I was in the Arts Council,
okay,
I noticed that when these artists bring in their works, you you don't have anything to identify them.
Okay.
They just say this is a carving and this is, a painting.
Okay.
I say, how do you identify yourself? They say, well, they have to talk about it.
Okay.
I said, that's not enough to talk about art.
Okay.
Because if you bring in a work and then you are not there, that's why the fact that your name will be mentioned, there should be something to identify you as an artist. So it was then, people like Dejo Fakeye, BC Fakeye, Rolando Game, and many others.
Started signing their name,
Yes, started signing their name.
Okay, so we'll leave the professional bit for now. I mean, that will be a topic for another program. Today, we're here to celebrate love. We're here to celebrate marriage. And you've definitely lived up to it. Alright? So, for how long now have you been married?
Well, we've been married for about 45 years.
No, more than that.
Over 45 years.
About 45 years.
What was the attraction for you when you met your wife?
The attraction was mainly associating with someone who understands me, who will be very patient with me in my art practices, because right from the beginning I knew that art is very time demanding. But what was behind the coming together was, at the time we met, she looked so much like my junior sister. She looked so much like my junior sister, with the skin, with the color and stature and so on. So I don't know, that was the attraction, but also that she was someone from the same area, and it would be easy to understand, for her to understand the norms, and then when she's presented at home, there will be little or no resistance, because knowing my background, and the people will, in fact, expect you to go to the very village, to marry. But now that I'm marrying from a different local government, and it's Robo, well, that's something they will accept. So those were the attractions. So,
madam, he said he saw you and he saw his sister in you. All right, your complexion and everything was just what he wanted, and then of course you keep, because the fact, given the fact that you're also from his place, that's smoothing everything. For you, what was it that attracted him to you?
Well, when I met him, I saw somebody who is very patient in him. And in fact, I thought that is something I could start life with. First of all, he treated me like a junior sister. And well, this sort of inspired certain things
inside of you.
Inside me. I met him, we lived in a 2-story building.
Apartment.
He was upstairs and I was downstairs.
Okay.
Then I was still at school. So immediately, he saw me. He said, well, I like to marry you. So I said,
just like that? I mean, first interaction? Wow. Okay.
He said he'd like to marry me. So I said, well, I don't know. So I visited his studio for the first time. So I said, people who draw things like this, how can they make a good husband? So he said, well, this is what he does for a living.
I'm taking a cue from what she said.
Yes.
I mean, you just met her, and the first thing you would tell her was you wanted to marry her.
The thing was that I came from the college. At that time, the Nigerian College of Arts and Technology, and then was staying with an uncle who was upstairs, and she was coming from Djibouti to spend holidays with again her uncle downstairs. That was where we met casually. And then all along, I was expecting to be posted to University of Nigeria, Nsukka, as a federal government scholar, but that didn't come through. So I started to look for a job, and then the time being, no half a penny, no job, nothing. I was staying with a cousin, and but then that didn't really make her feel that this is a young person is beginning, has no half a penny, has no chair in the house, and so on and so forth. She at that time that I was looking for a job, she was more or less, she felt with me, and she didn't move away to other people who may have been able to really start her off in life very well, and so on and so forth. And so I think that was a main attraction, that she was willing to be with someone who had no job at a particular time, a person, a job seeker, and so on. And so that was a primary reason for coming together. That was it. We didn't have anything at all. So it was after I proposed, and she said, well, as the custom is, I have to go and see her parents, then in Kano, both in Kano and in Gechua. The father was in Kano, and the mother was sojourning between Kano and Gechua. And so I went to see them. It was after we have seen them there that the arrangement was made for the consummation of the traditional marriage at home in the Robo land. So that was that beginning. Okay. So for how long did you court before you got married? Well, I want to say that I left school by about June of 1962, and started working part-time in October. And then the following year, January, I got the job. And I must say that it took some time again, some few months again, before I went to Kano and Geshua, and then the arrangement was made, and the agreement gotten from the parents and so on, before the marriage took place.
The courtship, lasted for some time.
Okay, well, yes.
Okay.
Well, then we may remember more. Okay. I'm some of the things that happened. Okay.
Lasted for some time, and then I was watching him.
Okay, observing.
Then he was a pupil teacher.
Pupil teacher? No, I wasn't.
You were teaching at St. Gregory's.
Yes, I was already a trained teacher.
Yes.
Got it by degree and got it a second degree. And,
exactly.
So I wasn't a pupil teacher. If that is what you are thinking.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
How many children is the union blessed with?
3 boys and 2 girls. The children started coming immediately I married.
Okay.
Just about a year after.
Okay.
And in fact, I had the first boy in 1965.
Okay.
And the second one came about 2 years later.
Okay.
And then I had a girl.
Okay.
Then a boy.
Okay.
And a girl.
Did any one of them drink of this earth water that runs deep in this family?
You can see the one that came in now.
Okay.
He's an artist.
Oh.
He's in fact, a lecturer in Yabatek.
Okay.
And he lectures art. From time to time he has exhibitions. Okay. And he tries to, promote himself by exhibiting the daddy's work, when he goes out.
Okay.
He'll say, well, this is my daddy's work and this is my own
I
work.
See.
So you can see that it runs in the family.
The other ones are also into art, one kind or the other.
Okay.
The one he referred to as a lecturer is a professional. He's a professional artist and is becoming a professional teacher too.
Okay.
But the others are they like art. They trade in art. They discuss art. They organize art like the mother does to the others. All of them. You know, they all discuss art, work at art, exhibit people, curate exhibitions, and so on and so forth. So in a way, we are all into the arts. It's just that only one make art a career that you can that can be referred to as professional.
Okay.
You know, so.
Before we go further,
Yeah.
we'll just take this quick break and
Yes.
we'll be right back.
Okay.
Two of a kind will be right back. Please
Okay.
don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Welcome back. We're still with Dr. and Mrs. Bruce Onobrakpeya. But today, as we said, he's chief. He's our chief for today. So, before we went on the break, we were talking about the children.
Yeah.
Now we want to come back to the two of you,
Okay.
the two of a kind of today.
Okay.
All right. So, sir, how has married life been like for you?
Marriage is something that kept me very steady and focused on my profession. Because as a person who is not married, there are usually many distractions. So as soon as I got married, she was there, and I didn't have to bother to look here and there. All I had to do was just concentrate on what I was doing and concentrate on the home. So the marriage made my life very steady. And as I was saying, that was why perhaps when the child came, we gave him Mudiari, which means that life has become steady, life has become level, and removed from worries and so on and so forth. Yes.
You talked about marriage being a stability, standing as a stability for you,
Okay.
I mean, for your professional work and all of that.
Yeah.
Would you like to share some of the fond memories you've had in marriage?
Before we got married, we were really friends, not just friends, but we shared life, going out to the beaches, going out to visit exotic places and so on and so on, and that continued. And when the children came, we were always taking them out. And that outing, the outing of those days became very important to us. When they grew and they left, we found that nothing was taking us out as we used to do at that time. So the memory of the children being with us, we going to places together, they pulling us to places and so on and so forth, was some of the memories that we liked very much during the marriage season, during the marriage.
I remember when I traveled out of the country,
Okay.
I was sort of sick, and then, wow, what I saw was my husband around me. I was so surprised because I didn't expect he'll come all the way from Nigeria to America to meet me, you know. So that
Stirred up something deep inside. Oh, I see. To date. How many years ago are we talking about?
20,
20,
30 years.
30 years ago.
Oh, you still hold that
20
dear
years.
to your heart. That's very touching. What is it? What's that moment in time that you never forget in this marriage?
Like I keep mentioning the name Mudiare. It was Mudiare. When the first child was born, it was a moment that it was a moment of fulfillment. It was a moment of being a man and so on, and it was just spontaneous. Mudiare or Mudiare. So that was a moment I would not easily forget, because it's very emotional. I mean, you get married, and then the child comes like that kind of cement the marriage together. That was very emotional for me.
I want to believe you've had challenges in marriage as much as you've had fun and fond memories. Okay, so if you have an opportunity to change something or things, some attributes in your husband, what would you like to change in your husband?
I will want him to work less. So that this will sort of give him a longer life and make him feel fulfilled in life.
So, sir, what is it you would like to change about her if you have an opportunity to do so?
Yeah, the thing I want really to change in her is that she should give me more time to work. Give me more time and stop nagging when stop nagging when I appear to be concentrating on something I have to finish. But something too that I want her to understand is that in art there's a process. The artist try to balance up the process. He tries to make the art he creates a hobby.
Yes.
So in other words, he enjoys what he's doing, and at the same time, what he's doing is also a job. So once those things are balanced, and the wife knows that it's a balancing feature, then they will quarrel less and demand less of the man's time. But quite frankly, the complaints the women make about artists working too hard is a genuine one. But they must realize that the artist while working is not just work, but there are some aspects of it that are very reflective that the artist himself enjoys, that keeps him going, so that when he's tired, he's also having a feeling of relief or recreation.
On a final note, I want to ask, sir, yes, your marriage go way back,
yes,
and things are evolving, things are changing. So what's your take on marriage then, marriage now, and marriage of the future?
At the time we married, we did it in the older way, but new things have come in now. New ways coming. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to go out, find out the blood grouping before you compatibility and so on before you. So those things were not there at the time. Fortunately, I mean, we came together. There were no cases of the bloods not being compatible, that we give birth to children who are sickle cell or that. We didn't have. That wasn't the concern then, but we didn't fall into the problem of not checking those things. But nowadays it's very different. I mean, you have to check all those things before you get married.
Yeah. Since we've married, a third party has never sat down to discuss our quarrels. That's one good thing that I think, has helped the marriage. Because when two people are married and then they have problem, they carry it to discuss it. That man discussing it might not be in favor of the family, He might have his own interest. Because as a child, I grew up to see a couple that were quarreling and then they wanted a third party to settle the quarrel. But on the long run, the man didn't know that the person that was going to settle the quarrel was interested in the wife. So, on the long run, the man had to snatch the woman from the husband. So, couples should learn to settle, their differences.
Thank you so much for having us on Two of a Kind. May God continually make you two of a kind.